Hey team, and welcome to another Malcat video. This is our last step in our gin making journey. So we've been through the whole compound gin process, and then in our last video we looked at making our neutral spirit. And here we have a result of that, some of our product. This is a litre of our neutral that we made last time, proof down to 50%. We can use this in multiple ways. So we could proof this down further to 40%. Then we could use it to make compound gin. That will get rid of the issues around the expense of buying vodka all the time. We could proof it down to 40% and drink it as vodka if we wanted to. You will have seen our recent video on vodka tasting. One of the vodkas we tasted was this one. What I'm going to show you in this last video is gin making in our little copper pot still. And this is my pretty little copper pot still. They're not expensive. This one costs less than $1,000, handcrafted in Portugal, and we got it from Aurora Distillery. We can post a link to them in the comments. You can have a look. There's other places in New Zealand you can get them from. This one's a baby little 2-litre pot still, which is the perfect size for making small batches of gin, playing around with flavours. My last comment before we get started. If you are interested in getting into distilling, I suggest you check out the local laws and regulations around distilling. It is legal in New Zealand, where I am, for personal use, but there's all kinds of hoops you have to go through if you want to start selling it. Even giving it away under the laws is not legal. So before you get started, check out the local regulations where you are. So how are we going to start? We have our still here. The way this still works is all our liquid goes in the bottom here. There's a chamber here that we can put our botanicals in, and this is our output. So the output comes to here, and you'll see when we get to the next stage, there's a nice little, pretty little condenser that sits on here. So we can either put our botanicals into the liquid, or we can put them into this chamber where the vapor goes up and collects the flavors through. What I tend to do is a mixture of the two. What I have here is we've got juniper. Now I've got, for a litre of spirit, I've got 20 grams of juniper. Half of them are whole and half of them have been crushed. So the difference, if you use your juniper whole, you get more of those berry flavors. If you crush them, you get more of the resinous, piney flavors coming through. What I tend to do is half and half. And here we have coriander seed, which has also been crushed. So there's 10 grams of that. We're actually going to be distilling tomorrow, so we will put our spirit into the still along with these initial botanicals, and they'll soak in the spirit in the still overnight, and then we'll get into the rest of it tomorrow. So pull this apart. As I mentioned, this is 50% alcohol. So that's a litre of alcohol, and it goes, and then we just dump our botanicals in. Make sure you get them all. And they're going to sit and macerate in the alcohol overnight, and we will distill tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. Welcome back. So it's now been 24 hours and our coriander seed and juniper have been soaking in the alcohol. Smelling pretty good as they are. So it's now time to get into our distilling. To start with, we've got the rest of our botanicals here. And if we have a quick look at the board, we've got orris root, angelica root, licorice root, kuba berries. This is cassia bark, which gives you your cinnamon. We've got pink peppercorns, cloves, there's a little cardamom pod, cumin seeds, lime peel, and lemon peel. And so those are all our other botanicals, or should I say those are all my other botanicals. It's up to every distiller to come up with their own recipe, different botanicals in different amounts. Really the only way to do that is through experimentation. So this is my latest recipe. It's a slight tweak on the previous one, which is what I always do, just to keep making improvements. So all these botanicals will go in this little muslin bag, and then they will go in the neck of our still, and as the alcohol vaporizes and comes up through the column, we will get vapor infusion and we'll get lovely gin coming up. That is us. We're all ready to get set up. I will see you in the distillery. the kitchen. See you soon. Okay, so here we are, and the still is set up, and we're heating up. Here's our still with our botanicals in the neutral and also in the column, and we've got a little heating pad here. So what will happen, this will heat up to the point where the liquid starts to boil. As it produces vapor, the vapor passes up through the botanicals, picking up all the lovely flavors, comes out here and into this little thing, which is our condenser. So we've got water flowing through this, comes in here at the bottom and then out at the top, and this is our water reservoir, and there's a pump in there pumping the water out. So the water goes in and there's a coil in here, the vapor cools down, turns back into liquid and comes out here. Now I've got a little extra setup here. This thing is called a parrot, and it's used for measuring your alcohol content in real time. So the water comes in here, fills up this reservoir. I've got a little alcohol meter sitting in there, and it tells me how much alcohol is in that liquid as it comes out. And then it goes out, and now I've actually got a jug sitting here in the sink collecting. That's our setup. So I've only just turned it on. We're up to about 25 degrees C, and it'll take a little while to heat up. I will come back once we've got some action happening and we've got something coming up. Cool, so we've been running for a while and everything's up to temperature. We've started to get some drips out. Our parrot's filled up and we're starting to collect gin in our jug. We discarded the first little bit, not because it's got anything bad in it, but just because usually the first little bit of distillate tastes pretty awful. So we'll just keep running like this for a while. Every now and then we'll try it and see what the okay, so it's just changed. We'll try the distillate just to see what it tastes like. What you'll find is the different botanicals will come off at different times. So when it started, I was getting lots of spicy flavors, and now when I just tried it, that's quite citrusy. So we've progressed to probably the middle part of the run, and we'll just keep monitoring. Basically, we'll just keep running it like this until we decide that we're getting no more flavor coming out and our alcohol level starts to drop, and then we'll shut it all down. But so far, ticking over nicely. We'll just keep going. So we're all done. We got to the point where I started getting really sort of watery output coming out, and that's the time to shut it down. We've ended up with 400 mils at 75% overall. So we'll proof that down to 40%. And we'll end up with about a 750ml bottle of gin. The temptation is to get in and start drinking it straight away, but it needs time to settle and for all the flavours to blend back together. So I'll bottle it, and it's going to sit for 30 days in the bottle, and then we'll come back and we'll have a taste test. See you in 30 days. So welcome back, and we've made it to the very end. So here's a bottle of gin. It's been sitting in the bottle for a little more than 30 days now, so we should be ready to drink it. Interesting, we've got some lushing going on there, so that's that cloudy appearance. That's just oils coming out of solution. Nothing to worry about, it's just interesting. I didn't get that last time, but then I've used different citrus this time, so who knows.
Citruses. Citrusi?
Citri?
Citro?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm getting that citrus on the nose as well too. So maybe who knows? Maybe I put too much citrus peel in. But it might be good if you like your citrus forward gins. So it is quite citrusy. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of spicy zing on the back of my tongue too.
Yeah, definitely quite zingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, let's try it as a G&T, shall we?
Do you want fancy glass?
Yeah, fancy glasses.
Fancy bowl?
Really? And here we go. Tonic turns it down quite nicely, but that's quite a nice citrusy, quite fresh, very pleasant. So there we go. End of the process. We've got quite a drinkable gin, probably a summer gin for gin and tonic, and that's it. From here, look, you can keep going. I mean, I also use my gin for making damson gin, for example, which is more of a liqueur. There we go. We've gone all the way through. We've made our compound gin, which was tasty and delicious. We made our vodka, and now we've made our final product. This has been sort of a whirlwind tour, and I haven't gone into too much depth about the process. If you are interested in learning more, I can highly recommend a guy by the name of Jesse. He runs a distilling channel called Still It, or Chasing the Craft. We'll put a link in the description below. He goes into all kinds of detail and you can learn all about various distilling methods. He even does some crazy things like making spirits out of Mountain Dew, which was rather interesting. We'll leave that link for that in the description. Check him out, and other than that, we've got gin. Gin is the winners.